Well, I really didn't see this one coming, but it's late 2025 and vintage guitars have released 13, yes, 13 new effects pedals. This being vintage, they're going to be really rather affordable propositions, costing about 50 of your Great British pounds, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, and there's going to be a bunch of different types available. A number of different drives, some modulation effects, a reverb, a delay, an EQ pedal, and some different preamp pedals as well. And on this channel over the next few weeks and months, I should be featuring all of them in some level of detail. But what we're going to kick things off today with is the 4 standard overdrive pedals. Now there's a fuzz pedal, 2 overdrives, and a distortion pedal here, and I'm going to go over them in as much detail as possible, play riffs on all of them in as many different styles as I can, and hopefully by the end of this video you might know which of these 4 pedals deserves a place on your pedal board. My rig for today is going to be the 2025 Ibanez AZ Standard HSS model, so I've got humbuckers and single coil pickups, every tone under the sun essentially, and we're going to be running the 4 pedals straight into the front end of my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amplifier on a pretty neutral, clean channel setting with just a smidgen of reverb. Without further ado then, let's kick it off with the first pedal, and it is the beautifully named and beautiful looking, I have to say, Americana Fuzz. Now with its red and white stripes, it could represent something a bit like an American flag, or it could be a hot dog stand or something like that, but I think it looks really cool, and Vintage have got some great graphic design going on with these pedals. Now it's got 3 controls for level, tone and fuzz, and being an Americana Fuzz we can either assume it's going to be a Big Muff or a fuzz face style of circuit, but if I read you a bit of the blurb that Vintage sent me, well, you'll know straight away. They say that this is a thick, smooth and saturated fuzz with more gain than you'll probably ever need. It's designed to pay homage to a classic fuzz pedal that gives you the instantly recognizable violin-like, smooth, saturated distortion fuzz that appears on some of the greatest recordings in the world. This pedal is not for the faint of heart, it roars. So we can realistically assume then that this is going to be a huge sounding Big Muff style of fuzz pedal, and you'll hear it in a second to confirm that, but we've just got those 3 knobs, an on-off switch here, in and an out there, and you power it via a standard 9-volt power supply then. Now if this is a Big Muff, as we can assume, well, it's going to give us great garage rock tones, it's going to give us great classic and hard rock sounds as well, some lovely scoop tones as well, and it's time to hear the Americana Fuzz in action. So that was the Americana Fuzz then, and what a huge fuzzy beast of a drive to kick things off with. This is a wonderful sounding pedal if you dig your fuzz tones, and if you're into anyone from Jack White to Jimi Hendrix, you're going to find your tones in this box. You've just got the 3 knobs, but it's very, very versatile indeed, from lighter fuzzy sort of tones, more in the vein of something classic like Hendrix or something like that, to full-on fuzzy madness, something like Billy Corgan and the Smashing Pumpkins. Well, you're going to get it from this box, no problem whatsoever. I think it looks great, it feels great, it sounds great for so many different things. It works with humbucking pickups really well, or with single coil pickups as well. This is an absolute no-brainer. $49.99, that's a really decent price in 2025. Now, if you're looking for competition for something like this, obviously the Electro Harmonix Big Muff in all its iterations is going to be an option. But if you're looking for something at a ballpark sort of price that might be similar to the Americana Fuzz, I highly recommend something like the Joyo Tiny Huge Fuzz. That's another great take on the Big Muff style fuzz. But 2 thumbs up from me for the Americana Fuzz. And second on today's list is going to be the green and rather imaginatively named Overdrive pedal. I think Vintage probably could have spent more than 30 seconds coming up with the names for these, but there you go. This is the Overdrive pedal. 4 knobs on this one. We've got a volume control, a gain control, and a 2-band EQ, treble and bass as well. This one retails for 45 Great British pounds, so it's even cheaper than the Americana Fuzz. And what kind of overdrive pedal could we be expecting here? Well, it's green, so you might think it's going to be a tube screamer type pedal, but if I read the Vintage blurb to you, well, it starts to sound a little bit more exciting, at least to me. They say that this has a great high end with plenty of transparency. It can either be used as an overdrive, or it can be used more like an EQ in that sort of a role, always being on and used to shape your tone. They say that the 4 knobs allow massive versatility in your sound, and you can cut and boost with surprising precision. They also say that this is a transparent overdrive pedal. And now hearing about always on overdrives, EQ tonal shaping and transparent tones, well, I'm starting to think about something like the Paul Cochran Timmy Overdrive, one of my absolute favorites. If we can get anywhere close to that with this pedal, well, it's going to be an absolute bargain at this price. But let's hear the overdrive pedal now. So that was the overdrive pedal, and you know what? It does remind me quite a bit of the Paul Cochran Jimi Overdrive as well. They should have named this the Transparent Overdrive because it really does that transparent buzzword thing rather well. Turn it on with the gain down and the EQs at a neutral setting, and it just gives you a bit more of what you've already got. So it's great for a clean boost, it's great to push things into sparkly sort of edge of breakup, and it goes pretty gnarly as well as you wind up the gain, although it does get pretty noisy as you start to do that. And it even does that kind of amp caving in on itself thing that the Jimi pedal does as well. Now, I don't think this is a clone of the Jimi or anything like that, but it definitely gets you into that ballpark. And if you play the kind of music that I do, indie rock, alternative rock, folk punk and so on, well, you'll love this pedal, and it's going to be great for spicing up a boring clean tone or a light crunch tone no end. I can highly recommend this one as well. Now, if you're looking for something similar in this sort of a ballpark in terms of price point that does a similar sort of job, well, there are lots of decent options out there, but some that spontaneously spring to mind would be the Noble's ODR Mini 2. That's going to be a great mini option, screen as well. Then there's going to be something like the Kaleen Pure Sky, or you could spring even a bit more money and go for the officially Paul Cochran designed MXR Jimi pedal, which is a great Jimi-esque transparent overdrive pedal, really rather similar to this one. And again, that's a mini pedal too, but this is a fantastic option and I highly recommend it. So that's the overdrive pedal, and third in today's lineup is the Transparent Overdrive. So previously we had an overdrive which was quite transparent, and now we've got one which is literally named Transparent Overdrive. So we can assume again that we've got another variety of the Transparent Overdrive theme. Now this one just has the 3 knobs. We've got volume, tone and gain, and it's slightly more expensive than the previous two at 55 Great British pounds RRP. So we're still very much in the realm of the affordable budget pedal here, but possibly this one has slightly more under the hood or something like that. But anyway, let's hear the Transparent Overdrive now. So that was the Transparent Overdrive pedal then, and at this point I've got to ask, Vintage, what were you going for in terms of the naming conventions with these pedals? Because the Transparent Overdrive pedal is not a Transparent Overdrive pedal in any sense of the word, really. It's a wonderful sounding drive, and you can do transparent with it, but that's not what this pedal is about. If you're watching this video and you want a Transparent Overdrive pedal from Vintage, go for the Overdrive, the green one. But if you want a sleazy, awesome, vintage Fender Tweed amp on the edge of its life sort of sound, a lovely, saggy, woody, break-up rich sort of a sound, go for the Transparent Overdrive pedal. This is going to be great for garage rock, for indie rock, for punk and hard rock as well. It just sounds amazing. You can do the transparent thing if you wind the gain down and turn up the other two knobs, but even then it's got a darkness to it and a kind of grainy sort of tonality to it and a heavy low end that are really not transparent but sound fantastic in their own right. And the more that you edge up the gain, well, you get great classic rock tones, amazing garage rock sounds, and really decent heavy, sleazy alt rock, grungy rock sorts of tones as well. This is a wonderful pedal for anything like that, and it positively surprised me in a huge way, partly because the name Transparent Overdrive is definitely not representative of what this pedal can do. It can do that and way more. This is a wonderful little box of fun, and I highly recommend it if you get the chance to try one out. Now, if you're looking for something similar that can do this sort of sound, I've not really heard many pedals that sound like this one. At this sort of price point though, you could try something like the new X65 Overdrive, which is a Timmy Jan Ray sort of a sound that gets pretty gnarly as well, or you could try their 59 bass guy, which is a Fender amp in a box and sounds absolutely wonderful. But the pedal that I've heard that sounds the most similar to the Transparent Overdrive is actually my Benson preamp pedal, and that costs about 5 or 6 times as much as the Transparent Overdrive, and it is wonderful. It sounds like a Fender amp that's just about to die, but that's exactly what this pedal does and a whole lot more as well. So this one is going to be a great option if you're looking for a slightly different overdrive pedal that does that thing. I really, really love this one. That's the Transparent Overdrive pedal then. And fourth and finally, in today's list, we've got the outstandingly named Distortion. So we can assume that this is going to be some kind of distortion pedal then. We've got 6 knobs and 2 foot switches on this one. So we can assume that we're going to have added layers of versatility with this pedal compared to the others. Now the 2 foot switches are labeled on and off, presumably to turn the pedal on and off. And we've got a boost as well. And I'm yet to find out if the boost is independent or whether you can only add it to the effect when it's already switched on, but we'll hear that in the playing section as well, won't we? Now we've got, in terms of the knobs here, tone, mid and bass across the top, and we've got boost, volume and distortion on the bottom. So we've got different EQing options here. The boost looks to be shapeable in some way. It could be adding more gain, or it could be some kind of EQ shift or something like that. But let's hear how the distortion pedal sounds. So that was the distortion pedal, and this one is indeed correctly named because it is a high gain distortion type pedal, and there are a load of tones available in this one, but you're going to have to spend quite a lot of time tweaking, and I found straight away that once you twist one knob you're going to have to twist others to compensate for that fact. So it might take you a while to dial in the tones, but there are beautiful beefy hard rock and metal tones available with this pedal. Now this is the one that I personally gelled with the least. I found straight away with everything at 12 o'clock that it had that kind of wasp in a jam jar sort of a tone that a pedal like the Boss Metal Zone is unfairly known for. Now there are great tones in this thing, just as there are in the Boss Metal Zone, but you can make them sound bad too, so you're going to have to spend a bit of time and kind of give yourself the amount of time that you need to dial this in to make the tones that you would like. For me personally, I found that having the distortion down at 9 or 10 o'clock was where I liked it for harder rock and progressive rock sort of tones, and the more I turned it up, the less controllable it was for the styles of music that I play. But tuning down to drop D and turning up the gain gives you some great chuggy metal sounds that I think you'll be very pleased with if you're looking to make those sorts of sounds. Scooping the mids a bit gives you great sort of thrash metal sort of tones too, and the boost is something that I really haven't worked out how to get the best results from, but it doesn't appear to be a gain boost, it appears to be more of an EQ shelving thing, and the more you turn it up, the higher frequencies it's boosting in your tone. So have it all the way up and you're getting loads of top end extra that you don't really need. I found that the best thing with the boost was to have it at about 12 o'clock or slightly less, and that was the least offensive to my ears when I turned it on. But this is a pedal that's not going to be really suitable if you like lower gain classic rock sort of stuff. I tried it with the distortion all the way down for AC/DC sort of sounds and it didn't really do that. It wants to do more. So if you're a heavy kind of player, this is going to be the pedal for you. Now if you're looking for something similar to give you these sorts of tones at a similar sort sort of budget, there are going to be options out there. The Legend, the Icon is the Boss Metal Zone, so that's always going to be one to try. Or you could go for something even cheaper like the Joyo Uzi, which is a modded Marshall sort of a sounding thing. Lovely pedal indeed. Or you could try the all-time classic, the Proco Rat 2, which is going to be a bit more expensive than this one, but gives you amazing 80s and 90s higher gain rock and metal tones. Love all of those pedals, and this one approaches all of those in terms of tonality, if you can manage to get it tweaked in the way you like it. So those were the 4 new drive pedals from Vintage. I hope you enjoyed the playing, the riffs and the tones. Let me know in the comments which one you thought sounded best. Now, if I was just going to be taking one of these home with me, well, it would be the Transparent Overdrive, which is not a Transparent Overdrive, but just sounds so great for so many of the genres of music that I like to play. Otherwise, I'd love to take the Americana Fuzz home with me. I've already got plenty of Big Muff style pedals, but that one looks great and it sounds great too. And I really like the green overdrive pedal as well for those more transparent drive sorts of needs. Again, I've got loads of pedals similar to that, but these pedals are just a different flavor of that sort of thing. And I do think that the Transparent Overdrive, particularly at this price point, gives you something that not that many other pedals can manage to do. I think the one thing that I would do is change the name on some of these because they are a little bit misleading. So what you should do, if you get the chance, is head down to the local music shop, try out as many of these as you can. Don't forget, there are plenty of other vintage pedals in this lineup as well, and see which one works best for you. Because in terms of quality, in terms of the workmanship and so on, you know what you're going to be getting with these. And I think for the price point of about 50 Great British pounds, it's going to be similar in dollars or euros, I assume. That's very decent value for money, especially in today's economy. Now, like I said, let me know which of these you thought sounded best. And if you'd like to hear even more detail with any of these pedals, let me know as well. There are going to be other videos on my channel where I go through the modulations, the delay, the reverb, and the preamp pedals too. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those as well. And if any of these 13 pedals you'd really like to see me go over in full, thorough detail, let me know in the comments too. I should have them for a bit longer, so I should be able to do a few more detailed videos about specific ones if you'd like to see me do that. But if you're still around, it would really make my day if you wanted to give the video a like and maybe even sub to my channel, because that really does help. But that's been it for today. I've been Rich, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.